DeviantArt text posts, and you only found them via Equestria Daily. Like, you couldn't find stories yourself. It just didn't work. This is a dark
and
age.
that was when they posted pretty much everything.
There were some on fanfiction.net, but thank God we didn't have to rely on that site.
I remember when fanfiction.net started.
Oh my!
It used to.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Tell us a story, old man Arch.
Yeah. It was usable. You could actually navigate it. You could search stuff. It was great. I really no idea what happened.
You just don't know what went wrong.
I have no idea.
And welcome to the stream, everyone else. We finally decided to go live because fuck it, we'll do it live. References. We've got a guest.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. We've got a guest, and it's fan of most everything. A person who... Hello! I remember bringing up the idea of having fan of most everything up in the Seattle Angels private chat, and basically everyone was like, wait, haven't we had this guy on already? Why haven't we had this guy on already? What?
Haven't we?
Yes.
I mean, no offense meant, but I literally thought that fan of most everything was actually Pav with a more glorious mustache.
I was going to say, I just want to focus the camera here for the moment. Fan's mustache is really quite spectacular.
It is.
Thank you very much.
I'm jealous.
Absolutely.
You're upgrading me for a younger, sexier version.
I can honestly say this is the first time I have ever been called sexier than anyone.
Wow, get used to that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So yeah, fans in the call. How does it feel to meet a slightly older version of yourself, fan, knowing that Pav is your future?
I'm so sorry.
Disquieting.
Disquieting.
Disquieting. Beautiful. However, you will have Nighty contact you, apparently, according to Pav's latest blog, so that's
Yeah.
Alright, so casual reminder to everyone watching the stream, I should actually post a link to it in there, that would help.
Everybody watching the stream, all 0 of them.
We don't even lead these guys around by the nose. Well, apparently we do.
You'll have to say, though, just for the record, I am just a little bit of a fan of most everything.
Oh.
How appropriate. You're a fan of most fan of everything.
Something
like that. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Oh, I've got to say though, that whole saturated world thing you came up with recently, it was fun to read. You've not? Oh, come on.
I'm curious. I may have missed this. What are you referring to?
It's a fairly recent thing. You explain it.
Okay.
Go.
Oversaturation is basically a concept where magic has been progressively leaking into the Equestria Girls world and basically reaches a critical point where, it's starting to express itself to a dangerous degree, like anymore, and it'll be a Discworld-like thing where the world will start coming apart at the seams. So, it's basically up to Sunset Shimmer to research the problem into oblivion.
Interesting. So it's coming through the portal from Equestria into the Equestria Girls universe. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, basically kind of an osmotic process from the higher concentration to the lower one. And the universe just isn't designed to have that much magic in it. So she has to figure out how to solve the problem but everything goes kablooey.
Interesting. How does the magic express itself? I'm assuming there are lots of pyrotechnics in some way or another.
Well, Trixie's involved at certain points.
Of course.
But it starts expressing its. The girls start ponying up. God, I hate that term. They start transforming a lot more readily. They get locked into it. Other people start transforming. It kind of carries through the school as something of a contagion, and basically it's desperate. It's kind of this desperate race, and it was actually written before Friendship Games, but I was able to incorporate a few things from it as the preview shorts started coming, like the lab in the first one. That was incredibly useful. and human Twilight gets involved, and there's human Discord gets heavily involved, actually.
Human Discord? Isn't he like a janitor in Equestria Girls?
Generally, yes. I actually make him a physics teacher.
I liked it.
Yeah, he has a very successful series of books called "Why We Can't Have Nice Things."
Oh dear.
That was one of my favorite lines. That.
Oh my lord.
I love that.
I'm imagining he has a particular taste for quantum physics, because let's face it, it's
what
pretty much what he
was like
does.
a school psychologist? That'd be interesting.
School psychologist. Do American schools have school psychologists? Because if so, I'm concerned. Very concerned.
I mean, the closest thing they generally have is guidance counselors.
Yeah. That was back in my school. That was basically just whoever had to spare 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, we had a guidance counselor turn up at my school once to basically advise us what jobs to get. He was called Justin Sidebottom.
Beautiful.
I really wish I was joking, but
that's you can tell that his parents were fun-loving, to say the least, and a bit short-sighted. Oh my god.
Did he eventually reveal himself to be the hero of Gryffindor?
I'm afraid not. He told us that we're all going to get shitty jobs and that we shouldn't hope for anything in the future. Except
yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about the fucking disposition a man called Justin Sidebottom would have. Like, the world has worn him down. Oh my god.
Pretty much, yeah. It's Bill.
This is how he gets his revenge.
And
by sort of depressing teenagers.
Actually, now I think about it, there's been a pattern of people like that. Because when I went to university, the head of my department was called Richard Woodcock.
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of different Woodcocks at Miles.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but it's like, Dick Woodcock.
Richard, though. Yeah.
We had a guy who worked in the the Res-M department called Woodcock. That was quite amusing. For Americans, Res-M is resistant materials. It's basically woodworking, and his name was Woodcock.
No.
That was pretty appropriate. Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of Woodcocks in Yorkshire. It's just,
There are a lot of Woodcocks in Yorkshire. This is true.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't know if anything like that.
This is the area where they invented ferret down trousers, so I imagine Woodcocks would be in high demand.
That is true.
Sooner or later, yeah. I think
God.
Pat was just going to say something.
While I don't have any phallic co-workers or anything, I do have a co-worker by the name of Mikhail Gorbachev.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's an interesting name to find anywhere in the United States.
Has he got a ketchup stain on his head?
The best part about it, like you guys have seen Office Space, where there's a character named Michael Bolton, but he just looks kind of like this dude. He looks like that guy from Office Space, except his name is
Oh god.
Beautiful, fucking beautiful. Oh my god. I'm trying to remember anyone else I remember like names like that. Oh, I've got about 4 Mohammeds working with me at the moment, but none of that's particularly funny. It's just. And I'm just thinking about all my old school teachers and how many of them were absolutely batshit insane. We had
I had an English teacher who, when she yelled, you could literally hear her halfway across the school.
Nice. My English teacher, the lovely woman called Miss Bell, she was fantastic at English. We've got echo coming from someone. Absolutely failed to get me interested in English in any way, shape, or form, which is why it's so weird that I'm here. But she had...
You're actually not alone there, Tom. It's weird. And I hated English.
The most amazing collection of jewelry, to the point where, like, her entire arms were covered in, like, bangles. She had about a dozen necklaces on at any one time, to the point where she would point at a student and she'd be rattling about 10 seconds later. It's the most unusual woman I've ever met, but she was lovely, so... Oh, dear.
Now, see, I had an English teacher who really did get me interested in English. And so I was writing fan fiction when I was like 14 or something for English assignment. She had a wart on her eyeball.
Yeah, I did that too.
She had a wart on her eyeball?
Yeah.
Is that even possible?
Like her,
well, apparently it is.
Like actual, like the thing
she
sees with?
Yeah, it was sort of like just yes. Yes, her eyeball.
No problem. Not the eye in her head, but like the actual eye that you draw on a page. Like that had a little lump on it.
She's got a wart on the eyes on the inside, is what this is.
No, she was a wart just about there.
Oh, God,
it gave me a very early introduction to describing things in great detail. Because I spent all of my time just staring at it and trying to describe it to myself, and it's like, ooh. Yeah.
I've just got the one word in my head is why.
You ever chant like witch, bitch, you're a witch?
Oh no. Oh no.
Christ, I can't remember her name now. Oh, Watkins, that's right.
Watkins. Not
her son was in my class.
I was seconds away from saying that as well, Stevie. Oh dear. Yeah. Right, we should probably...
So Foamy, what about you? English back in high school. Were you the kid who liked English, or were you the kid who was just like fuck it, and now you're like, why am I writing horse words?
No, I actually quite enjoyed English. I had some good teachers. My mother is actually an English teacher, so you know, I actually had an in with the whole department because she taught at that school for my first 2 years. So
you're that guy.
But actually, fun fact, I believe the first bit of fan fiction I wrote actually was for a school assignment in middle school. It was like a long-form poem that I decided to do Super Mario Brothers fan fiction for.
Oh, wow, okay. Super Mario Brothers long-form poem. I am extremely intrigued.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, that too.
I'm aroused.
Well, yeah, but that's normal for you, Pab, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, look, there goes the PG-13 rating again.
Dude, we have never had a PG-13 rating for more than about 5 seconds.
We graduate.
Yeah, no, literally today, within 5 seconds of going live, Plum was like, fuck it.
I mean, yeah, fuck it, we will do it live. I'm just...
Well, I could be over there in about half an hour.
You can get to York in half an hour. I'd be very impressed.
I drive very fast.
This is why I don't have a car anymore.
Oh, sorry. I shouldn't laugh. But I am.
The worst part is I was doing 40 on a fucking motorway. I wasn't going fast at all. Anyway, like, Super Mario Brothers long-form poetry in itself is rather spectacular. What else have you written aside from the horse words which we've seen on the site?
I am curious about this, yeah.
Okay, let's see. I did some stuff for Teen Titans, the first animated series.
Mm-hmm. Well, the good one.
And managed to find a way to cross that over with Magic the Gathering.
Teen Titans Magic the Gathering crossover. Okay. Okay, yeah. Carry on.
Let's see. Did a little bit. I did this one stupid little thing for the Slayers that was basically just introducing an OC Offspring character that was basically my first foray at fanfiction.net.
I don't even know what the Slayers is, so this seems fine by me.
Fun anime, kind of Dungeons and Dragons classic fantasy with comedy elements and a bit of cosmic horror.
Hey, never feel bad about where you started out, because I don't think anyone can really top what I did, which was World War II and The Lion King.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I've not heard about that.
It featured
mentioned your Halo crossover that you've never finished, but okay, World War II Lion King. Let's hear about this, Reg.
It featured a T-34 tank crew of meerkats.
Okay.
I'm not even joking.
This is a
wonderful,
and I thank you for it.
I'm learning so much about people. I mean,
with Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
See, when I heard World War II, The Lion King, my first immediate thought was, "Oh, I just can't wait to be furious."
Oh God, Pat.
That's
Jesus
a brilliant
Christ.
idea, and I wish I had thought of that.
Well, there you go. You can write it now.
Yeah.
Well, there was that one scene with the hyenas marching in goose steps.
There
so...
was that
my
scene, yes.
God, yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that's probably what triggered the idea.
We're delving into
Guess
the
out there.
mind. We're delving into the mind of a young red squirrel, trying to figure out why he wrote his Lion King Nazi stuff.
I felt so ashamed of it when I was done that it's the only story of mine that I've ever wrote that I deleted from everything everywhere. You're not gonna find
I wonder why.
I have never deleted anything I have ever written.
Do you regret that? Yes or no?
I do not regret it for a moment. Some of it's absolutely terrible.
What
I
did
may
you
publish
start
one.
with?
Me?
Yeah.
God.
Or was it some...
No, Star Trek.
Star Trek?
Yes.
Good.
When I was 14, I wrote a Star Trek fiction for a school assignment.
Fair enough.
It was brilliant. I wrote it on an Amiga. Well, no, actually, no. I told them I wrote it on paper and I got my mum to type it out for me.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then after that, I wrote a fan fiction for oh God, what? Fuck me, I can't remember what it's called. It was this novel about a cowboy. It was a Christian fiction thing, and it was like this cowboy who was like this sheriff of this place, and it's like I have to write this thing, and it's like, okay, stupid. But yeah, Star Trek. That's where I started.
Star Trek.
Yeah,
no,
then
no
I went
Star
on.
Trek World War II crossovers or anything like that.
No World War II crossovers. It was all about Scotty having wind.
Okay. This. Okay, so far we've got Magic the Gathering meets Teen Titans. We've got Lion King in World War II, and we've got Star Trek where Scotty has wind.
Well, actually, he left the window open.
Oh my God. On the fucking Enterprise.
Yes. It was a question that they all raised. Like, how could you leave the window open? This is a spaceship. It's like, oh my.
What's that window there anyway?
This seems like a terrible design in hindsight.
Yeah.
Why would they even make a window that you can open on a space?
You gotta get air. You gotta let the space air in sometimes.
Oh my God.
Goggles on, man.
You've got to aerate it, of course.
This is why the Enterprise is always the only ship in the sector. Everyone else keeps opening their windows.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why the Borg are winning, because they don't have windows. This is the only reason.
I still have. Yeah, here we go. Here it is. I still have it.
Oh my God.
Oh no!
Wow. This is a blast from the past. The Wind. Oh, you're giving your real name out on the internet, but fair enough.
I don't give a shit anymore. Alright? I could do a reading, but I'm drunk.
You could
Just
do
the
it.
wind, and no one noticed anything unusual, but then ... Oh my God, this is terrible.
Do you still regret nothing, Arch?
I still regret nothing. Look at how I end it.
How else are you supposed to end a
Nice music! Exclamation point!
Yeah. I still have the first Simpsons fan fiction I wrote around here as well somewhere. I think I've shown that before.
The fan fiction that got you married.
Yeah, the fan fiction that got me married. Great. I also have this.
Let's have a look. The Simpsons.
Wow.
It's a pink folder, a production folder from the actual show. Sent to me by one of the original animators from the actual show. I'm showing off now, aren't I? I've got some keyframes. I've got some nudie drawings that I'm not going to show.
Why did they send you those?
He liked me, I guess.
Clearly, Arch made the front page, and then he said, "Send nudes."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I lived Pav's dream.
How it feels.
I'm so sorry.
All of Pav's gold.
Anyway, enough about me.
Considering Arch, Pav's latest blog was about his dreams. Are you sure that you live Pav's dreams?
Well.
Oh my god.
Well,
Right.
enough about me. Let's talk about fan of most everything someone.
Well, I want to hear if Pav and CV have any interesting stories about their early forays into the world of fan fiction.
Yeah, might as well complete the whole round robin.
Yeah.
I'm going to be, again, incredibly boring here and say that my first foray into fan fiction was My Little Pony, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yes. However, my first story was taken from the concept of a death metal album.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Are we talking like Death Clock in Pony, or are we talking something more serious business?
No, we're
metal?
talking an origin story for Equestria and the Royal Sisters based on the concept of an album called Never Bloom by a band called Make Them Suffer. It's all like it's all the whole album is tonal, and made me think of just the Everfree Forest, because there's a lot of forest and growing and trees and flowers and death and rebirth and stuff in the course of the album, but of course it's ultimately about betrayal and heartbreak and devastation. So yeah, I sort of made an Everfree Forest / Royal Sisters / Discord origin story out of the concept of this death metal album.
Well then, that's
That's deep, man.
It's not bad, not bad. How about you, Pav? Dare we ask, what was Pav's first ever foray into fanfiction?
I'm not sure he wants to know.
Are we legally able to like broadcast this?
I hate to disappoint, but actually, My Little Pony was my first foray into pony fandom and my first foray into shipping. I was actually, when I came into the My Little Pony fandom, I was anti-shipper.
No.
What?
And look how far I have
Fallen.
I was going to say
My whole world has been turned upside down now. I actually see eye to eye with CV at this point.
But no, so
yes.
Took me a second there, Alex. Took me a second.
Well done, Art. Well done indeed.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Oh my god.
But no, so I didn't really do any writing prior to My Little Pony, and oddly enough, like I absolutely loathed it in school. So probably the most notable thing that I wrote prior to getting into the fandom was a middle school assignment, because back then you're writing on like the huge line widths, and you're it's like writing a 1-page assignment, and oh god, that's such a pain in the ass. So I'm writing this thing, and we have to do a 2-page assignment, and I'm always getting points off because I'm not making my papers long enough. The one paper that I finally made of the appropriate length was a story about how I was so proud that I had finally accomplished this goal of writing a story. It was a meta patting myself on the back, just totally stroking myself in middle school.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I've written assignments about not knowing what to write about. I've never written assignments about successfully completing the assignment.
I got an A on that. So
Oh my god, the closest to that I've ever come was a presentation in university where I was I had to give like a presentation on like sockeyed salmon because it was a biology degree. And one of the things that you had to cover was why it's an interesting topic, and my answer to that, in the middle of it, I slipped in, the reason why it's an interesting topic is because my degree rests on this.
Okay. Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and I can officially tell you that my start in fanfiction will not be with Pony. My first story that I ever publish will be with Teen Titans Go / Powerpuff Girls crossover, based on the new Powerpuff Girls animation that's come out.
Get out! Ladies, go!
Oh my god,
The irony is that actually makes more sense as a crossover than pretty much everything else we've mentioned.
Powerpuff Girls X World War II. Is that what we're going with here?
Yeah, let's go with that. Why not?
I mean, that's basically Captain America, isn't it? If you think about it.
Just replace white with green.
Yeah.
Is this the Magic the Gathering stuff creeping back in again?
It never really creeps out. I just keep quiet about it.
It just dies down and just flares up occasionally. Oh my god.
We all know about that.
Like a skin condition.
Yeah,
So
pretty much.
I've seen nothing but negativity about the new Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
They got rid of Miss Bellum, by the
They
way.
did! Miss Bellum is gone because she's not feminist enough? Like,
Or something
holy
like
fuck.
that.
Like,
Okay.
she's the single most feminist character I can think of in literally anything.
However, she had boobs, and that's
She had boobs.
anti-feminist apparently.
We all know that attractive bodies are not feminists.
Oh my god.
I guess that a fan of most everything just isn't feminist then.
Oh no. Oh no.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm terrible.
Oh, no.
I'm going to
You are
help
terrible.
again.
Bye.
I'm not used to thinking of myself as
I
attractive.
need to drink more.
Yeah,
Clearly.
get used to it, man. Get used to it.
It's the
Ugh.
mustache, man. I mean, really.
From the chat, Manaphy suggests the crossover. New Powerpuff Girls cross the room.
You're tearing me apart, Bubbers. Oh my god. I'd watch that. I would 100% watch Tommy Wiseau's Powerpuff Girls. I would. Oh my gosh.
The girls come home from school. Oh, hi, Professor.
How's the sex life?
Oh my god. And then there's like, then it was in the original Powerpuff Girls show.
I did not freeze breath that girl. I did not.
I did not.
Tearing me apart, Mojo.
You're tearing me apart. Oh my god. I remember in the original Powerpuff Girls, he had, what was it? Like they had a schoolgirl around as a friend, and the school was like, oh, where are you from? Oh, we were created by accident in a lab. And then the girl says to the professor, that's okay, my parents say I'm an accident too.
God, that was...
no. And the professor just goes, Oh my god, the original Powerpuff Girls was pretty great.
It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Oh my god. Fan of most everything, we have a question from you, from Postmodern on Finfix, saying, what are your thoughts on Twilestia? At this point, I am convinced that he is an alt of Pav.
I was probably not typing. Probably.
You're
I don't know.
probably not involved in this. Probably.
Unless time travel was involved, in which case he'd know and I wouldn't.
True enough, true enough. So, come on in. Thoughts on Twilestia?
Okay,
Let's just expand it to shipping in general. Come on.
I mean, everyone is entitled to their ships so long as they can justify them. I mean, I really don't like breaking up canonical couples or ones like Lyra Bond that have ingrained themselves in the fandom to the point where they basically... Well, I don't want to say they're basically canon, but they might as well be, in our opinion.
Hmm.
In the case of Twilestia, it's just... I mean, maybe it can work after Twilight's Ascension, but, I mean, before that, it's basically the creepiest possible teacher-student relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, Celestia's
Yes.
grooming Twilight.
And afterwards, it's still kind of off for the next couple centuries.
On the other hand, here's my justification.
Bit of G&T.
Here's my justification.
Yeah. I ran out of justification.
God.
I'm going to get more
I
justification.
know that
Yeah.
came in cans.
What came in cans? Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels. Everything comes in cans these days,
Everything
man.
comes in cans.
Everything.
I don't know why you would buy a can of Jack Daniels, but you can.
Well,
Jack
being
Daniels with honey
Australian
is
good.
pretty decent. I'm just
What?
Jack Daniels with honey, it's a special thing. It's pretty decent, actually.
Yeah, honey
Stand-
Jack Daniels.
Standard Jack
Sorry,
Daniels,
sorry.
I am
Jack
very
Daniels-
much not a fan of.
In the same sentence is just weird for me.
But this
Jack
isn't
and Coke is
standard
kinda
Jack
tolerable.
Daniels. This is double strength. This is a 7% can.
Well, standard Jack Daniels, I am like the taste of Jack Daniels in general. I'm not a fan of. However, I will freely admit, Honey Jack Daniels is actually pretty okay. It's not bad. Oh my god.
Anyway, do we want to actually talk about the reviews?
Yes.
Quickly.
I was just about to mention that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there you go. I beat you.
Release the squirrel.
I beat the squirrel, and I will beat the squirrel again. Sorry, that's weird.
Right. Squirrel. Just
that
get
awkward
on with it.
silence that came after that.
The judge went.
Unicorns.
Oh, there he goes. Rip.
Come on.
Okay, so yeah, round 82. Story number 1, Blur by Fire Gazer, The Alchemist. Basically, take that episode where Rainbow Dash is trying to get away from Pinkie Pie and then turn that into a whole story. Because it's about Pinkie Pie being challenged to a race by Rainbow Dash, who just can't believe that Pinkie Pie is Pinkie Pie and can't believe that she's that fast. And Pinkie Pie decides to prove her wrong. But it's a very sweet little story, actually, because there's a lot of Pinkie Pie stories in this round, but it's because all of them sort of characterize her pretty well, better than the show sometimes. My take on Pinkie Pie is that she's kind of maybe not really the emotional center of Ponyville, but definitely like it's cheerleader. She's there to make people happy first and foremost, and not just to be lol around them. And the ending of this story actually hits that nail on the head quite handily. There's not a whole lot to say because there's not a whole lot of story, but I liked it.
It's an enjoyable story about Pinkie Pie being the emotional support for the town. Fair enough. I'm okay with that.
Kind of like the next one, Closing Time by Mal Winters. Once again, this actually did take inspiration from an episode, specifically the one where was that the one with Iron Will where Fluttershy had that altercation in the marketplace and she couldn't like get
Yeah,
it
it was.
So yes.
Yes,
Okay,
that was
well-
the start where she wasn't being assertive.
Right, and then there was that whole 1 bit, 2 bit, 2 bit, 1 bit exchange. Straight out of
The Bugs Bunny Daffy Duck situation.
Was that episode?
Yeah, Wabbit season, Duck season, Wabbit season, Duck season.
No, I remember that. I remember the scene. I'm just not. In my mind, I've got it as a different. Oh no, it was that episode, wasn't it? Because it was Pinkie Pie trying to be more assertive. Yeah.
And this story sort of took that little one-off gag and sort of ran it took it to its extreme. To an extreme, because apparently Pinkie Pie cheating that shopkeeper out of her bit for a tomato sends her into a spiraling economic downfall that threatens her very livelihood and her single daughter.
Okay then. That's
it's a comedy.
Consequences, hey?
And that's the end. Everyone is sad forever.
Oh.
No. It's basically, it's just another sweet little story of how Pinkie Pie, in spite of her antics, is willing and able to come back and not only make up for this tragic thing that apparently happened over 1 bit. That was my one hang up of the story. But to do it in spades, like to bring the whole town together and to make a big scene out of it without being cloying, I guess is the right word. And it features less Pinkie Pie than the first story, but her impact is felt more because she's not on screen, quote unquote, in the story itself as much, but
right.
she's still Pinkie Pie and she's still acting very nice.
She's the driving force behind it, regardless. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What's number 3 then?
Quantum Vault, my favorite story on the list, actually.
Ooh.
Because it's one of those crossovers that aren't horrible.
Ooh, so are the Lion King turning up at some point? Is that what we're getting from this?
Well, find me a story with the Lion King crossed over with MLP, and I will review it for you, for everybody.
Ooh, I'm
I
gonna do
but
this.
unfortunately, it only has 3 chapters, and it was updated like 2.5 years ago.
Ooh, I'm gonna find a Lion King crossover. Just you wait. Equestria Scar. I've found hundreds already. Okay, right.
Yeah, but
carry on.
Really good.
Yeah, cheers for that, Derpy. Carry on, Red.
Quantum Vault. If you grew up in the '90s, you remember Quantum Leap more than likely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and this story also takes something that usually is a cardinal sin, which is writing about the kids of important characters, but actually manages to flesh out this kid into a pretty well developed and likable original character.
Who is he the kid of, sorry?
She's the daughter of Trixie.
Right, okay.
And her name is Quantum Trots, so she gets the nickname of Cutie.
Quantum Trots. That sounds like the worst illness I've ever heard of. Oh my god.
Not just the trots, but we have like this uncertainty, unmeasurable principle about it.
You're experiencing the trots and also not the trots at the same time, and it's just sort of blending itself into one. Oh my god.
I've definitely had that, yeah.
Diaretic superposition.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, you increase the number of syllables, it just sounds so much more profound and so much more painful at the same time. It's just...
I found it.
God, what was that experiment? What was that? Oh my god, I'm trying to remember the name of it. What was it you found, CV? Oh, you've linked a thing. A hyena's tail in Equestria.
Oh god.
Yeah, like I said, it's an updated for 2.5 years.
Is that a pun, or is it literally just the tail?
It's actually the whole hyena.
Banzai and Ed accidentally tripped through a portal to Equestria.
Right, interesting.
They would.
This is only the second hyena story I've discovered. The first being BP's, which was actually pretty great. So go read that. Plug. I was trying to remember if the double slit experiment had some sort of scientific name, but apparently it doesn't. So I'm just going to settle for trying to find some way to express particle wave duality via diarrhea. Is just the most horrifying image I can imagine. So carry on, Red. Let's hear more about Quantum Trots.
She is the daughter of the great and powerful Trixie, who in this story is not really all there to appreciate the genius of her daughter because of a little thing called mass murder.
Oh dear.
Apparently the Alicorn amulet actually drove her legitimately insane over the years, and she was never able to forget about it, and she eventually became so desperate to restore her credibility that she blew up a bomb in Counterlot.
Interesting.
And Quantum Trots actually confessed to setting the bomb, so a lot of ponies think she's guilty. And even though she was very close with Princess Twilight, and she decides to try and use the Quantum Vault Accelerator to try and fix everything, but instead she is taken to this like universal judgment room where she is told that she has to now fix as many lives as she has destroyed, and so she can't go home until she's paid penance by flip-flopping through times, saving people.
So it's a weird mix of like the Ice King from Adventure Time mixed with the season 5 finisher mixed with I don't even know what else. That's an.
In other words, it is basically just Quantum Leap.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much.
Incidentally, the last episode of Quantum Leap was absolute shit.
I don't think I've seen that. What was the last episode of Quantum Leap?
It was a big pile of shit.
Apparently so. Was it quantum shit? That's the important thing.
Was it across all discernible properties of space and time?
Yes, pretty much.
I intended to just Google the last episode of Quantum Leap, and instead I put quantum shit into Google.
And what did you get?
Well, how many lists do you think you're on now?
Apparently there's an Urban Dictionary article for it. And there are at least 3 different videos entitled Quantum Shit. I've also found Turbo Shit on We Know Memes. So...
So what I like about Quantum Vault is that it does have its own... What I liked about Quantum Vault is that it does have its own pony-ish take on the concept of quantum leap. It's not just a straight lifting of the whole thing. And like she has Al, but he's Hal, Wisecracker Pegasus, but the supercomputer is actually from the show is actually a super smart savant pony who like can do calculations at the speed of a computer.
At the speed of computer.
At the speed of a normal computer.
At the speed of computer. Okay. Right.
Computing at the very speed of computation.
That sounds pretty good, actually. I kind of like that.
At the speed of computer. Yeah. I can run with that. Right.
Yeah, and she's the like Quantum Leap was if I remember right, restricted to like the main character's own lifetime. Yeah. So you could only go back so far. Yeah. But this one, it's implied that Quantum Trots might be going to the same universe as the one she's currently in, but she might also be shifting into alternate dimensions and fixing those too. It's incomplete, so it hasn't really delved into that very much. But the situations she's gotten involved in have all been very interesting to me. Like they do. There's lots of really cool world building going on here. Not just in her home universe, but in the universes that she visits.
World building.
You know how to get us interested.
Was it Wanderer D who wrote that Sweetie Belle Chronicles story?
Yes, it was D.
It's like that, except these are all like original stories.
It's like that, but with Quantum.
Yes.
And Leapy.
Indeed.
So Red, in your words, this is like Sweetie Chronicles except better.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm glad D is not able to watch today because he's off doing something. Because otherwise, that would be throwing down the glove. That'd just be God.
That is your words, not mine.
Are you going to be at BronyCon?
Who?
Pav.
Oh, Pav.
Yeah. Because Wanderer D's going to be at BronyCon. I'm going to tell him what you said. And I'm going to bring over a little paddle pool. I'm going to fill it with oil.
Oh my God!
It's going to be in there fighting about it.
I thought you were gonna bring the ball pit from DashCon, basically. That's why I thought you were going with this.
Okay.
You're gonna bring a paddling pool. You're gonna fill it with oil, and then you're gonna put like little balls in the pool, and then it's just gonna be fun all over again.
Wanderer D and Pav fighting over this.
Mm-hmm.
I actually never read Sweetie Belle Chronicles.
Ooh.
I did.
Don't tell anyone I said that. I know I just said it all across the whole internet, but
yeah.
Don't tell anyone he said that. He says it in a recording.
Yeah. Seattle's Angels.
Sure,
it's our little secret.
But the basic concept of like a single main character remaining the same through different stories is what I was reminded of.
Fair enough.
What
were you saying, kind of like, Fan?
I'm pretty sure I still have to read the last chapter or two of the Sweetie Belle Chronicles, but personally I enjoyed it, but that's not saying much.
Okay.
Fair enough. Oh my God.
So yeah, Quantum Vault, most highly recommended story on the list. Go read it right now.
Mock-up.
Was there one more story?
Yes.
Yes.
Pinkie Pie and the Quest for Missing Smiles by Venates.
What did I say this one was?
Well, R.T. Stevens said that
friend
it was...
indeed at movie length.
Shit, I said it was something. Where is it?
You said...
No, you said it was movie length friend indeed.
Yes.
Yes! That's right, A Friend Indeed, the movie.
Which one was A Friend Indeed?
The one with Cranky Doodle Donkey.
Ah,
okay.
Donkeys, yes. This is the other way you get us interested.
R.T. Stevens actually told me that it was apparently like a metaphor for grief.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Like the 7 stages of grief, or just grief in general?
Yes.
Isn't it 5 stages?
5.
Was it 5 stages?
It was 5.
5 stages, right? That.
Are there
Well,
5?
there is an arbitrary
Five.
number of stages.
1, 2,
Yes.
3,
This
4,
is
5.
like goldfish have 5 seconds memory. Is that no? They don't. It's just an arbitrary number. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Yeah, the Kubler-Ross model: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Thank you, Wikipedia.
So one
You got that? You got that from googling quantum shit. That's what you got.
Somehow, yeah, it peered out of the ether.
Of course it did.
The random interactions of electrons just brought it up on the screen.
So let's hear what Squirrel has to say.
Yes.
We could do that.
We could hear what Squirrel has to say.
I can't actually recall that many stories I've read where Pinkie Pie is like the main focus.
Right.
I'm sure there's a lot, but
where she's like the solo main character, or she's just
where it's like it's just Pinkie Pie and she's not like bouncing off the rest of the main 6.
I can recall plenty of stories that have done that. I can't recall plenty that were good at doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can think of one by a fellow angel.
Ooh.
Yeah.
His name is Raz.
There are a few that exist. However, it's very rare to see Pinkie Pie on her own done well.
Well, technically she's with Gummy the whole time.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. Like, she's a character who works really well with other characters. Like, that's her thing. On her own, she can be a bit unrelenting in a way. Like, I don't know.
Also Pinkie Pie in Philly Vanilli, where she's assaulting Fluttershy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really call that assaulting. It's more sort of like. No, I can't actually think of another word.
You can't think of anything else they call it aside from assaulting.
No,
No.
there is a word for this.
Thumbnail,
I just looked at the dictionary in several hours.
Just need to Google it. That's what you need to do.
I just like to think of it as her forgetting how sanity works.
Well, yeah, Pinkie Pie and Sanity are sort of like 90 degrees to one another most of the time.
Yeah, they're perpendicular. Yeah. They can be.
Yes.
But yeah, and as far as a character, I think Pinkie Pie is absolutely someone who, personally, I can only take in small doses, so she works best for me when she's reacting to someone else or bouncing off of someone else. And yep, I do see that there.
It's a case of a lot of untapped potential for me. I think Pinkie Pie can be, I don't think she is, not the way she's written currently, but I think she can be a lot deeper than the writers give her credit for.
Yeah, there are definitely Pinkie Pie episodes that I have enjoyed.
Fic, maybe. I think we've gone off on a bit of a tangent.
Yeah, but to be fair, this entire podcast is just one tangent after another. So
yeah, this is.
I mean,
someone's just laying a bunch of cards down on the table, and that's the topics of discussion.
Pretty much.
Calling this stream out for going off topic is like calling me out for being lewd. I mean, it's just.
We're having great legs.
Stating the facts of the case.
Mm. This is true.
So, but yeah, back to the actual story.
Yeah.
Yes, it's an adventure story where Pinkie Pie believes that some sort of supernatural affliction has hit Ponyville because a lot of ponies are really sad all at the same time, and she's convinced that a rain cloud has stolen all the smiles in town. She goes on a quest to find a flower that will bring them all back.
Yeah, that sounds pretty pinky.
Yeah. And she literally goes on a quest across Equestria to do that. Because nobody else believes her, so she picks up Gummy and runs off. And it works very well for a solo Pinkie story because she's not like just looking for the missing smiles, la-di-da-di-da, I'm Pinkie Pie on a journey, but she kind of has to come to terms with the fact that nobody's smiling and understanding why people don't always smile 100% of the time, and while still being Pinkie Pie, and she does interact with other ponies along the way, who are in and of themselves pretty interesting characters, I have to admit. She meets this weird old pony in like a cornfield, and then like this Cajun pony in a swamp, and then some adventurer at the Rainbow Falls Trade Depot, and She manages to go pretty far, but the story is still fairly limited in scope, but not in a bad way. Like it doesn't try to go all out as far as adventure stories go,
It knows when to stop.
Yeah, which is to its credit.
Okay.
And needless to say, it's not quite as literal as a rain cloud that actually stole all the smiles in town by the end. But it took a bit of a weird left turn for me. I'm not sure if I just wasn't reading it right the whole way through or not. But the ending was a surprise, not necessarily in a good way. But the story overall was quite good. A very good representation of Pinkie Pie, and a pretty good lesson in how to ride her on her own. Because she only has Gummy to talk to while she's on her journey, and that was actually pretty entertaining. Her sort of bouncing ideas off herself while Gummy just sits there and blinks at her.
So does the ending, how you said that it was weird and took a bit of a left turn for you, it wasn't literally that the rain cloud had stolen the smiles, but would this have anything to do with a particular comic issue involving Rainbow Dash and something else in
I was going to say, it does, like, just hearing the brief outline that Red has given, it sounds a bit like, almost as if it's a parody of that one comic, or possibly a parody of It's a Dangerous Business Going Out Your Door, where an affliction has happened and they have to go off and get a flower.
Well,
Don't think so. It's I didn't really get that out of the story. It's definitely not connected to the comic or the Dangerous Business. It's just that it felt like the ending didn't really have a whole lot to do with what came before.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Or maybe I just missed something because I only read it like twice.
On the description you've given, it kind of sounds like that episode of The Twilight Zone. Bill Mummy sending people to the cornfield.
I'm not familiar with that one, I'm afraid.
Really? That's like the most...
It's like the one where
the one where he turns his father into a Jack-in-the-Box?
Yes.
That's like the most famous one.
I've literally never seen The Twilight Zone. So.
Plum! God damn it! You have to watch this.
You're making me angry, Plum.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
I'm fully aware of The Twilight Zone as a thing, and I can appreciate what it's done. It just doesn't seem like a TV show that I personally would enjoy. So I've never really watched it.
When I think about it, Pinkie Pie is basically a walking sort of Twilight Zone all by herself in a lot of ways. It's random and does strange things. And...
We do have another question in the Seattle Angel public chat relating to this discussion. If you guys were to theoretically write a good story with Pinkie Pie as the protagonist, what would you make about Pinkie Pie? What trait would you give her that might not necessarily be in a less good Pinkie Pie story? Orbs chimed in briefly, saying that his thing would be he'd emphasize the fact that Pinkie Pie knows more than she lets on, which is a pretty common thing in a lot of good Pinkie Pie fics. But what would you guys say? Let's start with Fan. Let's put him on the spot here.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a tendency to play up Pinkie Pie's more eldritch, or at least narrative properties. I probably wouldn't do too much on those because it's really easy to overplay them. But I mean, I've worked with Pinkie Pie before. I've enjoyed using her, but
it's a difficult question to answer. So, like you mentioned, Pinkie Pie is more sort of fourth wall breaking, that sort of things. It's very true that while that can be a funny part of Pinkie Pie's, it's part of her thing. It's she does it and it's amusing. It is extremely easy to overdo it. Like it is something that you have to sprinkle incredibly lightly in your story. Yeah,
both in terms of density as well as like
how
a few moments to include it, they have to be good. If you just have lol so random, then it's just
The two main criticisms of most Pinkie Pie depictions are one, lol so random, where she'll just like start giggling at something stupid, and two, too much on the nose, fourth wall breaking. Ha ha ha! We're in a fanfic, you guys. The author's writing this.
I've seen some authors go for basically entire chapters where Pinkie Pie is just talking to the author, and it's like.
I've seen literally entire stories that are just Pinkie Pie talking to the author. They're not amusing, guys.
There actually was a story all about the ponies talking to the author, and it was about as boring as you might imagine.
See, the
I've
thing
seen
is,
a couple of those where, like, I think one of them wasn't that bad. It was Maud Pie Falls in Love with the Narrator by Flint Sparks, and then there was another one that came out about a year later called Twilight Talks to the Narrator or something.
Yeah, that's the one.
The Flint Sparks one wasn't that bad because you can sort of imagine it with Maud being related to Pinky, but I didn't look at the other Twilight one that came out sort of a lot more
That one was
recently.
basically just a gag.
That is an issue where it's one gag played for several thousand words. Like, guys, if you're writing a story where it basically revolves around one joke, just bear in mind a lot of the time, one joke is not worth 1,000 words of exposition to set up to it. You know, there are some exceptions. One of which would be Twilight dealing with the buffalo problem, which
I was about to
ferrets.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
or just about everything written by Majin Sikyo or whatever.
Yeah. There are occasions where the punchline can be so goddamn perfect and/or horrible that it makes it worth it. However, if you feature the punchline and then have several hundred words after it, you've made a mistake. Like, just leave the joke be and let it rest. You know?
I mean, the thing is, this is literally, this is just my, I said literally, I've been on Tumblr too long. This is just my opinion. But I've seen an awful lot of fics that take things that happen in the show that are essentially narrative conveniences on the show, and they turn them into an absolute reality and try and play them seriously. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. It's like, yeah.
Do you have any examples off your head?
Oh God.
An example I'd go with is like Pinkie Pie, like when she shouts at Iron Will, she sort of stretches out in that sort of cartoonish way.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, she does that, but basically so does every cartoon character at one point or another, you know.
That one story called Ponies Are Squishy, where like the changeling infiltrator is confused by how squishy ponies are.
I love that title.
That's yeah. I've not read that story. I might have to go find it.
It's like, I can't remember. I cannot for the life of me remember the title of the story that I'm thinking of. But there was one story that was basically about every 5 chapters, it had a chapter that was focused on Pinkie Pie, and the entire chapter was essentially just Pinkie Pie constantly beating the fourth wall into submission, and having a conversation with the narrator, author, viewer sort of thing. It's like, okay, this was funny once.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
And you keep doing it. Stop, please. For the love of God. You've done 1,000 words on this.
It's just like that Simpsons scene. Like,
I found
stop, he's already dead.
No, stop.
On the Pinkie Pie question, I would say that the most important thing is to let the audience know that Pinkie Pie is working by her own logic. Like,
yeah, she's
logic doesn't have to make sense to you, but make sure that she has this. Pinkie Pie very much does have a certain set of rules that she operates by. It's different and it's weird, and it makes absolutely no gosh darn sense to anybody, but she's not just doing things as they come to her, in my opinion.
She has her own code.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think like the single most important thing about any Pinkie Pie story is please give her some depth. Like with Ob's response was, don't forget that Pinkie Pie in the show often knows more than she's letting on, which is like it's like the Parasprites episode, you know. Like everyone's like, oh, and there are bugs everywhere, and Pinkie Pie meanwhile is going and collecting a band, and then it turns out that Pinkie Pie actually knew what she had to do all along and was getting prepared to solve it. It's that sort of thing.
You know what I actually would write in a solo Pinkie story? I think I'd actually show her performing like preliminary preparation, stocking her caches of random items, going through the party cave and preparing her dossiers. Just all of the maintenance that goes into being the resident party pony.
Yeah, like putting balls around Ponyville in case of ball emergency or whatever it was.
Yeah.
We did see that episode with the Yaks where she has that secret party room on
does.
TV.
She does have the party cave.
On everyone.
She's basically the most organised pony in the entire world.
Yeah,
She's like
really
quoting
she's more
NSA.
organized than Twilight.
she's basically the
Yeah.
NSA,
Yeah.
except more interested in parties. 'Cause, she's got files on like Twilight Sparkle doesn't like quesadillas. Like, what?
She knows why.
Yeah.
But you'd never tell.
She'd never tell. This is true. So yeah,
So
I think I've seen one or two stories like that where it's basically just Pinkie Pie running around town just hiding party cannons while it's some sort of internal monologue.
No, you see, yeah, go on. Sorry.
No. Okay, you go on. Yeah.
No, I was going to say I've seen stories that sort of like start off with that kind of when they're doing the bits with Pinkie, they start off with that premise where it's like, oh yeah, you know, they've got this whole she's preparing for these things and she's managing these things, but they just sort of descend into this self-referential masturbation of the author essentially. It's like.
Yeah, it is a bit of an issue. It's a problem that affects Pinkie Pie more than most characters because a lot of people don't really respect the sort of depth that she can have.
Yeah, I mean she's self-aware, and the thing is, a lot of people take a self-aware character and it's like they think, well, okay, she's self-aware. That means she understands what's on the other side of the screen, and then they just go off into this weird self-referential universe of puns and jokes and rubbish, and it's like they don't really think about what motivates her as a character.
Or like she'll reference memes and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pro
tip: if you have memes in your story, stop. Think about your life.
But what if they are dank memes?
There are no memes dank enough to save your story, I'm afraid. Unless your story is the story titled, and it's a beautiful story, I Dream of Memes, which is John Cena and Shrek going to Equestria. I have read that story. The author, his avatar is a fedora. And that's all you need to know.
But see what else it could be.
Yeah. if you're not including memes in the story in some sort of like self-referential parody, like dank memes, and that's your story actually is expected to have some narrative to it, do not include any memes whatsoever. No, not 10% cooler, not anything fucking unrelated to ponies. Like the Powerpuff Girls, the latest cartoon, features Bubbles going no me gusta and making a Rage Comics face. Like, no, this is awful. You are alienating your audience.
Yeah, and they twerk as well in one scene, and
they do. The Powerpuff Girls do twerk. This is confirmed.
Isn't that basically just listed from Double Rainbow?
Basically.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about
exactly
it,
what I said when a friend showed me the No Me Gusta clip.
Yeah.
Why did they pick Double Rainbow as the direction to go in?
But just a reminder, guys, some people liked Double Rainbow.
That's the thing. Double Rainbow did a better Powerpuff Girls than the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
Yes, actually. You know, they did that. The animation itself was actually not that bad, but just the content in general was a bit.
Yeah, the biggest problem I had with the animation of Double Rainbow is the fact that they had so many different people working on it, and every single fucking one of those fucking assholes has had to fucking sneak a fucking TARDIS into any shot so they can be fucking cute about it. There are dozens of TARDISes in that fucking thing, because every single fucking artist went, hey, I'm gonna sneak a reference into Doctor Who, and the fucking quality control didn't say no. Stop
the
that
director,
shit.
yeah. No, the entire problem with that was the director. The director just didn't say, chop this out, edit it out, tighten it up. It just went on and on and on and on.
It's the quality control, like consistent quality control is an issue in basically every animation the fandom has produced. Like there are some animations that the fandom have produced that are really good. For various different reasons. Like the animation in the, what was it, Come Little Children Luna thing was really
Oh my god, that was beautiful.
The animation in that was great.
Oh yeah, that was like Disney,
the storyline of it was a bit questionable, considering it was Luna literally kidnapping foals in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but you know, it's Luna.
Yeah, but the thing behind that some people have is that those foals actually died, and it was like just their souls moving on, and she was taking them to.
But the intro to the animatic is literally one of those children saying, "This is how we met Luna," and they've started a civilization off somewhere fucking else where they've got a cave. So
in the Garden of Shadows.
It's Neverland. They just never grow up. They stay ageless.
They're basically Peter Pan. So,
I want to go and live there.
Peter Pan was an absolute dick. He killed people a lot.
Oh yeah.
In the original story, he kept on forgetting that real humans need real food, and a load of kids starved to death. This is Peter Pan. Yeah.
Oh my God, he's an awful person.
He also would switch sides in the middle of a fight and like kill his own Lost Boys because he got bored of fighting the pirates and wanted to fight with them sometimes.
Yeah. And like, what else was there?
Like, have you seen you remember the CGI Tinkerbell movies that came out, right?
I have not seen those, but I do remember they existed.
It's like you watch those, and then you watch where she ended up with Peter Pan. It's like, man, she really downgraded in life. Could have been a fucking magical fairy in this wonderful place, but no, she had to go with the asshole.
Yeah, she really traded down. Well, you know, it's like what they do, the stereotype that everyone says.
You have to remember that like, Peter Pan, for the most part, himself is also still really a child. Like, he's not an adult either, so he might not think that the consequences of his actions are really that bad.
That's the whole thing about Peter Pan. Peter Pan's lesson is, he doesn't have consequences, therefore he's fucking insane. You know?
No, you see... Go on, sorry. Go on. That's why I really liked the film Hook.
Pick up your glass and drink more.
Because you had the Hook. You remember Hook?
Yes, Hook. Robin Williams and Julia Roberts.
Yeah, because it was like, it's Peter Pan, but he's grown up, and he's sort of like, he's an adult now, but he has to accept this childhood part of himself, but still be an adult in essence. And it's like, it's one of the reasons why I really like that film, because he had to face up to a whole bunch of aspects of himself that he'd been in denial about for his entire life, and it's like a really cool thing. It's like he's fighting.
And then he has to face up to Dustin Hoffman after he kills his favorite Lost Boy.
Yeah.
But Dante Bosco died to inspire Peter Pan.
But yeah, back on what we were discussing. It's just a common issue with a lot of fan-made animations is the lack of like consistent quality control. Like Double Rainbow itself, nobody said remove that fucking TARDIS. We've already got 12.
Yeah.
No, and the issue in like what was the Snowdrop animation? Like there was nobody who made sure that all of the animators were as good as each other. So there are scenes where the animation drops to like 3 frames a second, and it's just like.
Never mind the fact that it's a blind Pegasus living on a cloud in a snowstorm.
Yeah.
How the fuck did she find her way around?
This is what I've been saying for years. Like, the house is floating separately from everything else. She has to leap off the edge of a fucking cliff and fly home in a city where all the houses move around each other.
And she's blind.
This is why I like the comics' version, where she's actually this incredible badass
General
cryo because she headbutted a unicorn for not looking at her funny.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm absolutely down with that. I'm okay with Snowdrop actually being a mega bitch. I'm okay with it. Makes more sense. Makes more sense than the fucking the teacher who like only finds out that their students haven't actually paired up to do this group project on the last day. It's like, oh Jesus Christ! Like,
In fairness, I did have a teacher like that once.
Yeah, but you're not like a blind kid.
I'm not a blind kid who has to fly home on a cloud. Yeah. No, you're right.
You're not physically crippled. So you know.
Just mentally.
Can you imagine Pony Braille? Just think about that for a moment. How would they manage it? Pony's using Braille.
Cloud Braille.
It keeps moving.
Is it like their lips? What?
Do they lick things and find out what it says? Is that how this works?
It works by taste.
By taste. Yeah, that's how it is. They flavor the clouds.
Yes.
Oh my god. Don't.
Taste and smell.
The yellow snow clouds.
Oh
no.
god.
Oh no.
World building.
Yes, that's what we're about. So anyway, we do actually have a guest on.
We do have a guest. We also have questions for the guest.
It's like
It's all right. I'm sure he enjoys everything we've been, saying. He seems to enjoy quite a lot of fics. Comments on a lot of fics.
Oh, jeez.
Well, he does seem to be a fan of a fair amount of things.
This is true. We do have a question from Carabas, who is a previous guest. Carabas? I can't even fucking remember how we pronounce it.
Carabas. Yeah, he's a decent author. He's a decent author.
Beautiful
Yep.
Scottish bastard. Yes. He has a question for Fan and everyone else. What genres of horse words do you most often write and are completely comfortable writing? Conversely, what's your least favorite? What's the least? What's out of your comfort zone in terms of like genres? Let's start with Fan.
Yes.
Let's see. I mean, slice of life stuff is just honestly really. I don't want to say it's easy to churn out because that doesn't really give the right impression, but it is simple to compose. Just basically say a conversation to myself and then plug the attribution and description in afterwards.
Absolutely. I can understand that. It's not something like it's different between that and like an epic adventure story where it's generally relatively short and it's nothing particularly complicated. It's uncomplicated. That's probably the best way to describe it.
I also like writing adventures when I can just visualize the grand climaxes and events and struggles and just try and share these ideas with everyone. But those are a bit more involved. Those are a bit more involved in creating them. Where I don't have. I have shipped in the past, but with ponies, I find myself very what I like to call pairing agnostic. As I said earlier, I'm okay with pretty much any pairing conceivable. It's just
shipper of most any pony.
Yes.
Yeah, but not actively.
Fan of most every ship. This is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really feel that strongly about anything with like the possible, like one or two possible exceptions, like Lyra and Bon Bon, which is basically you can't be neutral about that.
So
they are best friends after all.
Best friends, yes. So you'd say that shipping or just romance stories in general are a genre that, while you don't dislike them, they're something that you're not particularly comfortable writing because you're not particularly, like, enthused about any shipping? Is that correct?
Yeah, basically. I don't feel really inspired in that genre with this source material.
Fair enough. And there are no like genres that you're particularly averse to writing. Like you're okay with writing like tragedy or dark stories or anything like that. Is that correct?
I mean, I can appreciate downer endings. I'm not that fond of making them.
Right. No, that's.
I like
fair
things
enough.
to end on a high note. So I can do dark. I can do. I mean, dark I've done, but tragedy I'm less comfortable with.
So it has to be at least bittersweet sort of thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Alrighty then, who do we want to go with next? Let's go left to right. So let's start with the Arch then.
Oh God.
What genre do you most prefer to write? Arch?
I'm not sure I can really describe it. Oh.
Is donkey a genre?
No, not really. No. Dramatic, dark slice of life with a hint of oh my God, my parents are awful.
That's so Batman. Arch
Yeah,
writes
pretty
Batman.
much. except not my parents are dead. My parents are still alive, and I wish they were.
Ooh, edgy Batman. Yeah. This is alternate universe Batman.
The funny thing is, I actually really love my parents.
Ah.
I don't know where this is all coming from.
Maybe you're exploring the concept of it because it's alien to you and therefore it fascinates you.
You see, the thing is, I have this. There's two things I tend to write. Is number one, it's like I really hate my parents and I wish they'd die, and I have a twin sister.
And also, I magically got turned into a donkey.
Yeah.
Which is
so that's
another thing.
Three things.
Three
Okay.
things.
Yeah. Okay. Amongst the things that I'm going to come in again.
Have you read Pav's story about Cranky Doodle?
Yes, I really
That's
did like that
really
story.
Fun fact about that, I published, and this is actually in the comments section, I published my story about Cranky, and then I received a comment from Arch within like 50 seconds of publishing it.
It's donkeys, man. I can't
He's
stop.
got an alert on his phone, like his phone goes off as soon as a donkey story gets published.
Yeah, I've basically got a Google search for
that app just crosses his mind.
Yeah, pretty much. It just pops up a giant picture of a donkey. It's like, donkey alert.
Donkey alert, ass alert.
Can't stop the donk.
Cranky Doodle donk.
What you should do is write a fic where Cranky Doodle's a retired boxer, and you should call it Donkey Punch.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, I'm dead now. Thanks. CV.
Genres you enjoy writing, genres you don't enjoy writing. Let's hear it.
I enjoy adventure / action / anything that really builds a world because I like creating things out of very small, it's something that Ferret told me that Hooful of Dust does quite often, is that they take a small snippet out of an episode that's otherwise inconsequential and then they make a whole story out of it, similar to what one of the stories on this round did, Red, that you said?
Yes.
Where, the one about the sales pony who was going broke?
Right.
Yeah. So I like to do things like that. I like to expand a world. But if you search for my stories by tags, you'll find that the most common tag on my stories is alternate universe. And it's not because I specifically set out to write alternate universe, but it's that most of the time my stories have become alternate universe because new canon has been introduced. So I tend to get a little bit salty about that, but most of the time I think you'll find that action, adventure / drama and a little bit of dark is where I tend to specialize. And I've set myself just as of only I still work on my romance story, which is romance is my least favorite genre. I'm generally a non-shipper unless it's a ship that I consider logical, given canon-based evidence, as opposed to this pony shares this one similar trait to this one other pony. Clearly, they're destined to mate.
I'm going to say that most shippers would consider what they ship to be logical.
Yeah.
According to their own internal logic, which may not be shared by any other human being.
Yeah, that's the thing,
that's true. Now, you'll see that, action, adventure, dark, and probably drama, I suppose, it'll fit into the same sort of thing that I most like to write about. Romance is the one thing I like to write least about because I'm terrible with romance, and I'm generally not that fond of it in general, but I'm going to try to finish my own romance story that I started simply because it's a unique pairing that I've never seen before, and I do believe that I'm the first person to even write about this character.
Really? Which one's this?
Kratos.
Who? What?
Exactly.
Kratos?
None of you know who Kratos is.
Kratos?
Kratos. No, Kratus.
I'm not familiar with that.
Kratos is the name given via the trading card game to the ancient beast dealer from Tradia.
Oh, that guy.
That guy.
Oh, that guy.
Which
as far as anyone knows, I'm the first person to write a story involving that character. And my story is a romance / adventure where he is paired up with Fluttershy.
I must have missed the episode that this guy was in. I don't recognize this guy at all.
Don't you remember? No, don't you remember? He was in the episode with I can't remember.
It's Tradia, the swap meet. He's basically based on the Rancor trainer from Return of the Jedi.
Oh, I've actually seen that episode, and also we are getting some serious echo from someone.
I blame Pav, even though it's not Pav. Sorry, Pav.
But that was the one. CV, you got Magello to do the cover art for that?
Yes.
Oh, my mistake. I tried to fix the echo as soon as he started talking. Oh dear.
Unmute him, man. Bring him back.
I can't unmute people. I can mute, but I can't unmute.
Fantastic.
There we go.
Love you, Web.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right.
Censorship.
Yeah.
So yeah, romance being my least favorite genre, I'm still going to try to finish this story because Kratos and Fluttershy I can actually see working to some degree because they're both passionate about animals, just different types of animals. He likes the more vicious and deadly and endangered. And yeah.
That sounds like it could work.
Yeah,
actually it does. Yeah, I can see that working. I think you should keep working on that, man. I want to read it.
And yeah,
I mean, it's got 2 chapters already, but I'm not here to plug my own fics. I'm just here to talk about what genres I most like and dislike. So I most like writing adventure, dark drama, and I least like writing romance. But for the sake of finishing a story, I'm going to try to finish this one romance fic that I have.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm looking forward to reading that one because it sounds
right.
Meanwhile, I'm the guy who sat here shipping, trying to write a fic shipping Derpy and Octavia because they're both great.
Of course. This is, yeah.
Anyway, whoa, Pav?
Pav. Favorite genres, least favorite genres.
Okay, so as I mentioned, I was not into shipping when I first got into fandom. Therefore, my very first story does not have the romance tag. And then later, I wrote a children's story, so therefore that story did not have the romance tag. Every other story in my collection has the romance tag.
I am
big surprise.
Yeah.
Write something in your comfort zone then, and do like a dark/gore fic or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for like, I can appreciate a dark fic. I've seen some really good ones, and they've gone some very interesting places that have really stretched the characters. I appreciate it. I don't think I could write it myself. I think that I want a little bit too much optimism. I look for those brighter elements, more enjoyable stuff. So I don't think I could write that.
For me, I feel like a gore fic by Pav would be different parts of Twilight and Celestia's bodies waxing poetic about each other.
I'm kind of reminded of that indirect one reminds me of Short Skirts and Explosions, Twilightia fic.
Oh dear.
Oh
dear.
What was this?
Oh, you didn't see that one?
I think I've seen this one.
No.
It's mature rated, so you might need to turn your filters off.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I only do that for special occasions.
Well, it's written by Skirts. It's written by Skirts, and the cover art for it will look very familiar.
True enough. Oh my word.
Isn't every fic on the site written by Skirts?
Well, the ones that are published under his known accounts versus the unknown accounts.
Mm-hmm.
We are all Skirts.
We're all Skirts helps.
In a quantum way, yeah.
There is a non-zero probability of all fics being Skirtsian in nature. Until observed, at which point these eigenstate collapses into a single authorial state.
Yeah.
Ferret's here.
It's Skirts particle duality.
Yay! I was busy playing with yarn all day, and then I went out for sushi, and I totally forgot about the podcast.
Yeah, that's
until like an hour from home, and I'm like, oh fuck, we were doing the podcast tonight. Oh well.
Now you just went down to second favorite rodent in the pot.
Yeah.
But I got really awesome yarn.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Isn't it as awesome as Fan's moustache?
Have you seen?
Actually, might be.
Oh my god, that's
we got a
impressive
throwdown going on here.
we need to see pics of this yarn.
Honestly, I will totally post pics of the yarn at some point too.
Pics didn't happen. Oh, dear.
Obviously.
Between the yarn and Fan of Most Everything's moustache, I'm not sure which would win. I'm really not.
Because the yarn I got's pretty freaking awesome.
Look, I mean, just look at that moustache. It's like.
So
It's
beautiful.
pretty great.
Arch,
Pretty
that was
good.
a bit too sexual for me.
Oh dear.
Hey,
Oh
Phoebe.
dear.
A bit too. Oh. Oof.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Have we started questioning
no.
Foamy about shit yet, or were you all waiting for me?
We have posted the occasional question. This is true.
We've been interrogating them constantly.
We've
Oh, great,
mostly
because
been
I have a
faffing.
question for him.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Always. Are you kidding?
Oh,
It's my
my.
job in the fandom.
This is
Well,
true.
at least on the podcast.
This is-
Foamy, for your Ravnica fic, when Lyra undergoes her transformation, one of the things she has is you mentioned that her fingertips are covered in keratin. And then
Yes.
later in your color spectrum verse, you have the same thing happen to the Earth ponies. Was that a deliberate thing, or are you just really obsessed with people with really hard fingertips?
I am
Like, did
confused.
you actually realize you did that twice?
I know exactly what she's talking about.
It was
That's
not
because you're
it was
awesome.
not an intentional synchronicity. First of all, there is a slight difference with the oversaturated Earth Pony people. There's just an arc of keratin on the outside of the front of the finger. With Lyra's Crisis form, oh my god, I'm nerdy. The entire
No,
tip
I'm
is
nerdy
basically
because I actually looked shit up as I was reading it for the first time.
Everyone here is
There for a
nerdy.
reason.
You're entirely at home.
Mhm.
With Lyra, the entire fingertip was basically encased in a shell, so, slight difference.
Oh, like a thimble.
Yeah, overall, it
Yeah.
was not intentional, and I do not have any special obsession with very hard fingertips.
You promise.
Well, that's the claim anyway.
That is my
Whether it's
story,
true or
and
not
I am
remains to be
sticking
seen.
to
The
it.
thing is, having said that, I'm starting to develop one now.
Oh no. From all the typing you've been doing with the
It's
horse.
just it's all the people talking about this. It's like it's like people talk about something enough, you pay attention to it, it starts to become inculcated into your mind, and it's like fingertips.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna go and find a bunch of thimbles now and just
I've been reminded of
What have I
it.
done?
you've
Did you guys
created a
notice
fandom.
that I
Hmm?
Phoebe, you're
Did
totally
you guys notice that I
incomprehensible.
dropped out?
Yes.
You did drop out briefly, yeah. You're back now.
I even said hi when you returned. It dropped out again.
It's raining here, and my internet's just sort of sporadic at the moment.
Well, you should get an engineer out to check your
I
wires.
was like, "Yay, ferrets here!" And then I dropped out.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to be so
I
influential.
don't want you to think that I left because you turned up, because that's absolutely not what
Oh.
happened.
Probably not, because I'm turning up in your country in a couple of months.
This is true. Ferret might be coming to Australia.
Oh,
Ferret
great!
is definitely going to Australia. She's
I
just
will
going to
help
care
you
about the
and feed
prospect.
you and cook you and do everything that ferrets like. I will get you a jungle gym and a scratching post and a tree.
And some tubes. Don't forget the tubes to crawl through.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will also provide you a pair of trousers. They may or may not be worn at the time.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Tell me, when are you going to write more about Picky Pepper?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely not on the docket in the immediate future.
Too busy with
Oh,
all the
yeah.
saturation stuff?
I mean, I do actually have a story that can branch off from that one.
Ooh.
Like, this is months ago at this point. I'm almost embarrassed to mention it. I actually asked ST if I could borrow Mr. Flankington for a story. For anyone who doesn't know, it's basically a pony based on Plankton from SpongeBob SquarePants, less
come on.
antagonistic, but still with the same cooking talent. And basically, okay, the story Ferret's referencing is, one of the ponies from from the episode Canterlot Boutique, who was really snippy with Rarity in the middle of her musical number, just has this sudden attack of regret when she realizes, A, her dress is suddenly passé, and B, oh crap, I just insulted the pony who was on the cover of Cosmere.
I remember that story.
Yeah.
But
Good
yeah,
story.
basically in the one I have planned at some juncture, she's a restaurant critic, and she basically arranges to have Rarity and a guest attend the most, the newest, hottest restaurant in Canterlot, and everyone's either busy or Pinkie Pie, except for Applejack.
Tragic when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And, Rarity tries to appeal to her based on her time spent in Manhattan. Applejack's all like, I don't like cuisine, I like food.
Mm-hmm.
And the two of them grew up in Ponyville, so they're intimately familiar with the stylings of Mr. Flankington, who has basically introduced molecular gastronomy to Equestria.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
In a very negative fashion.
Oh,
Of course.
wow.
He's one of those restaurants where stomach pumps are an optional extra.
Oh my
dear.
God.
Oh, dear.
So
That
not
was like
really
Applejack.
good.
He's basically all the locals know don't eat there.
Oh, yeah, that sounds
And
about
now
right.
he's huge in Canterlot, with things like
Yes.
carbonized kale and, molecular soy colloids.
Oh, you know,
Oh, God.
fancy name to any food, they'll lap it right up.
Yeah.
Activated almonds and all that sort of thing.
Oh,
He basically
So, yeah,
lives
Living
on
up
Blumenthal.
oxide.
That's on the eventual to write list. But yeah, I don't have anything specifically planned for Picky Pepper herself.
Fair enough.
I
Think we'll see
wonder-
more of the Mandatory Fun universe stuff. Actually, there's a question for you. Mandatory Fun is one of the few sort of short form fics you've got that wasn't from a write-off. Like, do you find most of your short stuff these days is coming from the write-offs, or are you still writing short things that aren't related to the write-off?
I am writing short things related to the write-off. I think Mandatory Fun may actually predate my participation in them.
Yeah, I think it does.
But actually, it's funny. Before you came in, I was talking about how I don't really write romance. One of the short fics I've written that isn't write-off related is one that's actually a ship fic between Adagio Dazzle and Sven Gallop.
Oh my god, yes.
Wow.
Ben Gollum needs more evil love because he's such an awesome character.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I was
not,
reading a non-fiction book and they mentioned Sven Gulli like, oh my god, I remember that.
and it's almost less a romance and more just a state of mutual exploitation that developed into mutual lust.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. I enjoyed that fic. That was a fun fic.
Yeah, look,
In
because
its own
Adagio
way.
wants to be noticed, she wants to be adored, Sven Gallop can make her dreams happen by becoming her manager, and obviously things go from there, right?
Absolutely.
And she's totally dependent on him in order to actually sound like not crap. Well, she's dependent on Prince Pony, rest in peace. And
Oh god.
and he's dependent on her to keep being famous and getting perks. So, codependency. Healthiest
Yes.
relationship ever.
Look, CV has a kitty.
Marriage should be made of less.
So CB
Yeah.
has their cat right there. Arch's Pogo cat still sat under the camera.
Right there.
Yes.
There.
Oh,
He is 8 weeks old.
baby.
Yeah,
Here's
Lovely
another
little
question.
Pogo
When are you going to update postgraduate work?
Oh, God.
I could have asked when are you going to update a somber tale.
This is
Every
very
time you have an author that Ferret's following in a podcast.
See, this is why we didn't have Ferret on for the beginning. We kind of lull you into the false sense of security, and then we just throw Ferret at you.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
And
was like,
instead of
let her
closing teeth, I
surprise.
give you absolute undiluted adoration and questions.
Unleash the ferret. This
I
is
don't know.
true.
He was getting a fair bit of that from me. I have to be honest.
We're good.
True enough.
Arch was
Okay,
covering up
yeah,
for me,
but-
thank goodness.
Yeah, the problem with both postgraduate work and Somber Tale is that, in the time since I last updated them, there have been multiple seasons of the show. So,
There is that.
in the case of postgraduate work, the question, what is Twilight's purpose now that she's ascended, has actually been firmly answered in the way I was going to do it.
Oh, God.
That's a. Well,
So,
That's kind of
but-
painful.
You can always slap an alternate universe tag on it.
I could.
Is
I
it
could.
Ultimate
But
Universe?
What I have to do with approximately 3/4 of my fix.
Well, is it Ultimate Universe if the show ended up going the way you were going to go? That's just
It's
the
an
same
interesting
universe,
question.
isn't it?
In my case, it's rather more grandiose, but it's the same basic concept. In the case of a Somber Tale, I definitely have to slap the AU on that one because, Sombra isn't a bizarre crystalline shadow thing that
Umbra, yeah.
after the season 6 premiere. But, in that case, I can get back to that one eventually. I actually addressed a lot of the same themes I wanted to in a story shuffle short.
When are you going to genre tag those?
Hmm?
When are you going to put genre tags on those?
Yeah, I should do that.
I really wish you would, because I'd love to read them, but I don't do well with like sad, dark, and tragic stuff. So I don't really want to go into something and be like, "This is going to be super happy," and then, oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I accidentally exposed Ferret to a rather sort of tragic and sad story once, and she was
monster.
That was terrible.
Not safe for Ferret.
I felt so bad.
The first chapter is a table of contents, including tags. On
story. Sorry.
Why don't you have the tags on the fucking story then?
No, if you've got a table of contents, that totally works. I don't know why I didn't realize
Possibly
that.
because Spin Fiction doesn't have all the tags that he's using.
I can see it. Well, there's also a limitation, because eventually you sort of get like tag spam, and people just sort of take one look at it and go, "Oh God, it's a new author." It doesn't know how to tag their work.
It's alternate.
And then there's the fact
human
that people like
tragedy,
to add
drama,
tags to
comedy.
their story. And people like to add tags like "cute" to their stories and stuff.
Yeah. Or Butler.
Granted, I do that I'm looking at my own table of contents right here, and one of the stories has tags Slice of Life, Friendshipping, Early Modern English.
They're totally valid.
And yeah, but there's someone who...
Butler still abuses me.
Yeah, Butler. Someone for whatever reason they wrote an anthro-sex story with like one of the characters is the butler of an anthropony, because of course they are, and so they had the anthro mature sex blah, 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 and they photoshopped the word butler onto a sort of like style button
thing.
That's kind of
and then stuck it in the description.
I remember that. I remember
the same technique.
I want to wish that story had a neck so I could just get my hands on it.
No,
and just squeeze.
I thought that was a very creative solution to a problem they had encountered.
Well,
there was no butler tag, so they invented one.
There was also another story where the story itself didn't have any cover art, but the description itself, they just pasted a huge image. So when feature box, it was basically the cover art was the feature box section just on its own. Worth noting that since then, Zach has deliberately deactivated the ability to add images to long descriptions. You can no longer do that. There is no more butler tag.
Wow!
See, that's why we can't have nice things.
Well, like I always used to think like, wasn't it against the rules to put images in long description? Because I know that going a couple of years back, people used to put like the approved by Twilight's Library ribbon in their description and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did that once.
Like,
I broke the rules, Plum. What are you gonna do about it?
guys, I have sad news here. I mean, I know that Zach has already taken care of this issue, but the butler tag was removed long before. The butler tag is an Imgur image, so we need to broken now.
Oh no!
Dear. Rip.
Yeah. Terrible shame. Terrible.
I figured out which story I was thinking of. Foamy Group Precipitation doesn't have the tags.
Oh, okay.
And that's the one I was like, I want to read this, but there are no tags.
Sorry, say that again. Which
pretty much all silliness, so you should be... Wait.
See?
No, wait. There's one with zombie rat entry.
Seriously, which one was this one?
This is Group Precipitation. It's
Group Precipitation.
the sequel to Oversaturation in the Oversaturation verse. And so it's written by a whole bunch of different people.
I'm so slow.
Yeah, it's by all of 3 different people who bothered to contribute to the short story thread in my poor little group.
I really, really wanted to write something in that, but I'm so fucking lazy.
You realize by telling me this, Arch, I will now start harassing you to write it, you realize?
I know.
You brought this on yourself. You invited me to this tonight, but now I'm never going to stop.
So I'm a lazy masochist is what
Yeah.
Lazy man. Yeah.
Barrett, about my stories. I know I
Yeah.
haven't really done stuff with them
I know,
recently
but
because
to
I've
be
had a whole
fair,
lot
you
going.
sort of had the whole "I'm living in a TV drama" thing going on.
Yeah. True
There's
enough.
that,
Like
but
literally,
okay,
you're like,
my
"Hey guys, guess what? My kids got kidnapped today, and now I'm going to court." I
Yeah.
kind of figured that you needed to focus on real life.
Yeah.
Now
It is-
that sort of hasn't exactly fully wrapped up, but it's looking to at the end of next month. However, I have started enrolling them in daycare for 1 day a week, so I
That'll
do
help.
plan to be doing that 1 day a week to get as much done on my stories as possible.
Mhm.
I will happily harass you on that day when you tell me which day it is. Which
Please
is to say,
do.
come on and go, Ferret, tell me to write, and I will motivate you.
Please
Unleash the
do.
ferret
Please
from
do
yourself.
that.
Which
I
I'm
beg
sure is
you,
the reason
harass
Foamy
me
is
to do
never
that.
on Skype, because he knows I'll do the same thing to him.
No, I mean it. Like, legit, do that. Come on Fridays or Thursday night for you and just be like, write this goddamn story, CP.
As I said, like, literally come on and be like, Ferret, tell me to write. I will do so.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
She will. You will not be able to stop her.
oh, you'll be assaulted by gigantic eyes and
why I
little
will-
quivering
That's
lips
why I
and
put them
little
in daycare
claws
for that
and
1 day a week.
Mhm.
I
I
will
may
just
actually
look
need to
adorable
avail
and sad.
myself of your motivational services.
She's
She's
gonna
very
start sending you.
cute.
She's gonna send you fanfic PMs now. You realize?
Yeah.
Also, I now have a kitty. Did I mention that?
You.
Yeah,
Well, we've seen it.
adorable.
Yes, we
Yes.
can see it just
It's
there.
very cute.
Lovely. What's their name?
Phone, do you have any pets?
I have 2 dogs up in Scotland. They're batshit insane and dumb as bricks, but they're great.
They're terriers, of course they are.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care about you. Just phone. Do you have any pets?
Oh, I have one dog that is batshit insane and dumb as a
What
brick.
kind of dog?
Brussels Griffon.
Ooh, lovely.
Interesting name.
That's
I've never heard of that breed.
hang on, I'm gonna have to Google this.
Yes, they're very pretty.
Where's the keyboard?
Don't
That's
Google
not a German
shit.
Shepherd.
Oh wow. That's yeah.
Thank you.
Brussels Griffin.
Yes. The Brussels Griffin.
Oh, that's a grumpy-looking doggy.
Look at that beard.
Alex too.
Oh my
Have a beak.
god!
Oh my god. This dog looks like foam. Oh my god.
Oh no!
Well, you know, they do say people resemble their pets after a while.
Look at that. I linked it in the Google Hangouts. Oh my god.
Oh my god, it really does. Look at that. Oh Jesus.
Oh my
Beautiful.
goodness.
Oh, what's those? My great grandmother had one of those, and his name was Randy.
So the
Randy.
face is actually kind of compacted into like a almost puggish flatness.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, look at
Honestly, it looks halfway between a sort of like middle of Britain's terrier with some sort of like I don't know, a Scotty maybe. And
It
a
looks
weird
like an
pug.
It looks like a really tough.
It looks like an Ewok with a beard. Yeah.
Yes.
It does a bit.
No,
I
no.
have mine as a proto Ewok.
A
Yes.
proto Ewok. Yeah.
Come on, give me this fucking thing here.
Some of these look very border terrier like actually. I'm quite surprised. Like, oh my lord. This
Well, they look like they,
and
yeah,
you
they
say
look
that
like they're-
you say that Arch, and then I find this image. Posting this in the thing.
Yes! Ewoks, I told you!
Yep.
That is
Oh my
magnificent.
god, that's
I
great.
posted something too.
You did
Oh,
post.
and Lillipup. I have made that comparison.
Connix has left the
Oh,
chat.
good.
He's
We
died.
killed him with humor.
Rip.
Got her
I know.
bonbon moved. He's
Yeah.
returned.
Sorry about that, I pressed the wrong button.
Oh my god, yeah, Brussels Griffin. If you Google image search, I only just noticed this. If you Google image search Brussels Griffin, the related images are smooth, puppy, and Ewok. So you know, followed by black,
Really?
and then as good as it gets. So,
Yes,
All
there
right, I have
was
more
one.
questions for Foamy.
go on, Ed.
Yes.
Yay! I noticed you'll often sort of, when we have a new character come in, you'll write a really quick story about them, like Picky Pepper, or Cheese Sandwich, or the Super
Starlight
Hyper
Glimmer?
Pony. Not Starlight Glimmer, the, oh my
So
goodness,
I
I can't
did
even
write
think
one
of the
very
name.
quickly about Starlight Glimmer.
True.
Describe her.
Scootalothe.
Oh, Right,
Yeah.
Zipperwell.
Zipperwell, yeah. So what do you find with that? Do you just find sort of you're watching the character and you're just really inspired to write about them, or is it you're sort of you love being on like the bleeding edge of the feature box with like, hey look, I wrote about the newest character.
No,
Give me
no,
your
it's really more a
adulation.
matter. It's really more a matter of just some characters inspire me.
Yeah.
Like,
I kinda
No,
figured,
like
yeah.
the last 2 weeks, the feature box has been absolutely dominated by Ember.
Oh, for fuck's
Oh
sake.
yes.
Please,
Right,
no
oh,
more.
Sundar.
Oh Sundember.
This is true. This is true.
But yeah, with like Zipperwill, it was just a derpy Buru comment where someone noted that, you know, she is basically the anti-Scootaloo. She flies
Yes.
constantly. She had a cutie mark.
Yeah.
And
Sad but true.
I like the fact that as soon as you said a Derpiburu comment, Arch, the Derpiburu admin, bursts out laughing.
I think I remember that comment.
Oh,
I really do. I think I remember that comment.
Oh, dear me.
Beautiful.
Was that
But,
also
yeah.
what inspired That Makes Sense, right? Was just that sort of random comment really set you off, or was it something on Jeffrey Boomer as well?
no, I'm pretty sure it was Mr. Cake's own little wink at the audience.
Yeah, so just that makes sense, right? Sure.
It's totally not that my wife and I are actually alicorns.
Oh, dear.
I don't know why, but I reread it every once in a while and it cracks me up.
Aw.
Good. That's what it's there for. Oh God, what's this YouTube link?
Oh, no.
Oh dear.
What, there's a
Oh,
YouTube
no.
link?
I don't know, it's from
Metallica,
Stevie
sad but
Time.
true. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Stevie, please.
It is.
Yeah, I'm relevant heavy metal 0.9, but not quite as good as his.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Ow, my ears.
Yes. I've
I
been
just
introduced
clicked
to
it
heavy
with
metal
Metallica, I'm good.
people. Oh, boo.
So sorry.
And I just looked at it long enough to see the title.
Yeah.
That's basically all I did.
Yeah, I'm not
Wow.
listening to metal while this is going on because I'd like to actually be able to hear other people.
Yeah,
Believe it-
exactly.
Oh, dear
My
me.
ears hurt now.
Oh no. Poor Arch.
I'm curious to know more about Wizards, Fools, and Foals.
Mm.
So that's one of the rare tragedy fics I've actually read. Not to mention really enjoyed.
Oh, yeah, that one. I think I've touched on that one too.
Yeah, that was one of the ones we reviewed because I was like, we need to review this story. It's awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You'd better have read it, fucking CB. Jesus Christ.
I don't know that he was in that round with me. It might have been someone else.
It
No,
doesn't matter.
I do. It's very familiar to me. I'd be able to tell you within the first chapter if I'd read it before, but I do know that I've heard of it.
It's a
would
one
hope
shot.
so.
There are no chapters.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's the one about Starshwell the Bearded.
Oh, Wizards,
This,
Fools, and Fools.
That was the one we did that we were like, we can't talk about this story because we'll ruin the twist.
Is
we'll
that the
ruin
one with the
big
lenses?
reveal, but it's so good.
Lenses?
It is the one with the
Yeah,
lenses.
the lens grinder.
Yes, I love that fic.
Isn't it great?
Yes, it was
So what inspired that one?
amazing.
That was a write-off entry.
Yeah, I did
That was
see
a
it was a
write-off
write-off entry.
That was the closing
Almost
time.
all of your short
Was it
fics
closing
tend to be from write-offs.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah. It says February 2015, so that would have been closing time.
Huh. See, I'm struggling seeing the link now between that and the actual story.
In this case, well, can I spoil it?
You wrote it. I think you
I
have
mean,
the prerogative.
In
Do we
this
want to?
case, it's not. Well,
How's about you spoil it after the main body of the call has finished, so you can spoil it to Ferret and Arch after that. So we won't be
I've already
spoiling it
read
to
it.
listeners. Yeah,
Just
but
talk, man. Just talk. Just
Yeah.
say whatever the fuck you
Say
want.
words, whatever. You're the author, you get final say.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, part of it is it was closing time at the lens grinder shop,
Okay.
and part of it was, and here's the spoiler. Those watching, so put your fingers in your ears or something. It is closing a time loop.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Did you not realize?
No,
Which is very clever.
no, I think I understood that, but I didn't sort of understand it in quite that way.
Fair enough. That was why I liked it so much, because I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant. It's closing in the shop and it's closing the time loop.
So yeah,
I don't
pun
think
and
I
time
quite
travel,
made
that's
that
how you know it's
connection
fake.
because. Go on.
Well then.
God, I thought I was so smart.
So I've noticed a lot of your fics these days are mostly from the write-off. Have you found you sort of lost your taste for longer form fics? Or do you think you'll probably still do long form stuff in future?
I'll probably do long form stuff in the future. I mean, a lot of my ideas are just kind of compact at the moment, I guess.
That's entirely
Including the ones like on the docket. I don't know. Long form stuff for me. I need to be able to commit to it and finish it. Otherwise, it'll turn out like a somber tale or
My Little Prayer
God
of
help me.
This is Magic?
Yeah.
Mm,
Kind of appropriate that a story about Phyrexians grew cancerously.
I've done enough research, I get the joke. Oh god.
For those of you who don't play card games, imagine the Borg from Star Trek, only magical and designed by H.R. Geiger.
Oh my god.
Boy.
Sleepy Bonbon.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, hello, Bon Bon.
There's another cat meowing somewhere.
Yeah, that's mine.
Somewhere there's a cat meowing.
It just doesn't happen to be Pogo Cat. For
Mhm.
once.
No, that's my cat, and she's not even in the same room anymore. I guess my
No.
microphone's just too good.
I had a cat like that once. Loud.
But yeah, basically with lawn fix, I just need to know I've got the whole thing planned out and I can just dedicate myself to it. Otherwise, I know it's going to peter out, and I don't want that to happen. I mean, with oversaturation, that was the last thing I wanted to do because I knew exactly what I wanted from it, and I just fought to get it out.
Understood.
And it was worth it. It was a very good pick.
Definitely.
I really enjoyed that pick. It was just, I don't know, it had something.
It's
I
awesome
can't really
fun.
describe it.
Do you think you'll be writing more in that universe, or you'll be sticking more to sort of little short bits?
Yes, because
Well,
I
because
just put out 2 little short bits in that universe, so.
Yeah, but do you think you'll be writing another long fic in the oversaturated universe?
I mean, I'm going to have to think of an appropriate topic because I did almost too good a job of tying it up.
True. We could always do some about how Sunset's actually adjusting to things and see what happens if other characters end up, waking up to their powers and such.
That's what I was thinking, especially exploring Sunset's new circumstances.
Yeah. I
He's
definitely.
basically the god of this new world.
Yeah.
She's not a god, though she's considering applying for the tax exemption.
Oh dear.
And Mr.
Alright.
Discord will fail anyone he catches worshipping him.
No, it's just the funny thing I really love about the way that you characterize Discord in that particular universe is like, spoilers for anyone who is paying attention. He starts out as basically someone who is, from my understanding of it, obsessed with, well, not really obsessed with, but very sort of focused on the order of the universe.
Yeah.
And how the whole thing is like this big sort of, everything works together, and he becomes chaos, and it's like it becomes the opposite of everything he believed in. It was, I don't know, it's just me reading things into it that weren't there or whatever, but it just felt like a really nice arc. I really enjoyed that.
It felt like he started out more logical than we think of Discord. I mean, especially with like the books he wrote, where it was like, no, you're doing it wrong.
Yes.
Those words don't mean what you think they mean. Stop it.
Yeah.
Very focused on like what other people are focused on and interested in, and making sure that everybody understands how the rules work.
You know what the really funny thing is? The entire time I was reading it, every single word he said, I could hear it in John Delance's voice. That is a really good indication of you having grasped the character, because it was like it sounded like him.
Yeah,
I love
you
that.
capture his voice.
as I write it to make sure it sounds right.
Yes.
It shows. It really shows.
Yeah, it really does.
Did you and Arch discuss your favorite pony of Ditsy Doo?
Oh, I don't think we've done that, no.
Oh dear. I just want to, like, you were talking about a moment ago, a test from Discord. And it's like, I saw a video earlier today, and it just, when you mentioned a test from Discord, I was immediately struck, like, oh, this test. It was, it's one from the United States Air Force for people who want to be part of the Honor Guard. And part of the thing is you have to maintain a straight face under all circumstances. So one of their tests is they all have to be at attention with their rifles, they all have to stare straight ahead, they have to completely not react as a senior member of the United States Air Force walks around squeaking a boneless rubber chicken in their faces.
I've just found that video, man. I'm going to have to watch this. Just give me a second.
Yeah, this sounds a bit like something Discord would do.
Yes. It really is kind of magical.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Oh my god!
It's
I
pretty
always figured they
beautiful.
made the Queen's Guards do the same thing.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure the cast members of Monty Python advised on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite
It's the
possibly.
only way I can imagine them keeping a straight face in some of those too.
Oh my god! Sorry, I'm watching this video. It's like they're all trying not to break up. Is that like?
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, the funniest shit on the planet is someone trying not to laugh. It
Yes.
always cracks me up.
It's just
Oh
always
my
so
God.
goofy.
Mm-hmm. It just, oh my god. My
Sorry,
friend.
I want to know why you like
Frigosh.
Ditsy Doo so much.
Hmm?
I want to know why Foamy loves Ditsy so much.
Because she's awesome.
But I want to hear Foamy say it. Shush, Arch.
The
Okay.
funny thing is, I actually don't know. 'Cause, see, here's the
Just sort of
story.
appeared in your life and you went, alright, you're my new favorite pony.
Not even new. As part of kind of my indoctrination into pony in like the spring in around like May, June of 2011, a friend of mine showed me like an image capture of the original 4chan post with the animation error and the little caption, "Thus begins the legend of Derpy Hooves." And I saw her and I was like, something clicked, and I'm like, okay, I really
This
like
pony
this one.
needs to be a planeswalker.
Yes.
Yeah, that pretty much that followed fairly shortly, because really one of my first instincts when it comes to writing fan fiction is how can I put card games in this?
Never would
Pretty
have
much.
noticed.
We were discussing earlier, Ferret, people's first forays into fan fiction. Like, fans was Teen Titans X, Magic the Gathering. And Red Squirrels was a Lion King / World War II piece of fiction.
That's pretty
Alex wrote Star Trek in high school, so
nice.
yes, fairly standard Arch. And he's got a printed out copy of it.
My first foray would be like anime fanfic that friends gave me.
He's got a printed out copy of his first ever fanfic, which he wrote when he was a teenager, and it ends with the words "nice music!" Exclamation point. And the words before that are ooh 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 ooh. My God.
Yeah, this is. How old is this? This is like.
Mm.
Well, you've also got that handwritten
on.
Simpsons stuff too.
Yeah, I've got that. I can't find it at the minute, but it's around here
does.
somewhere.
I am completely honest. You have it framed in the wall.
This is old. This is older than that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus, how old is this?
Well, the Simpsons stuff was like how you met your wife, so obviously it has to be older than that, since I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure you wasn't your high school sweetheart.
Yeah,
I have known
Yeah.
people who have married their high school sweethearts.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't marry
It
my.
either works out horribly or it works out amazingly, and they're like a Disney couple.
You know, it's a funny thing. My high school sweetheart turned out to be ended up being a member of the Horsey set, and it's like,
Ended up being a member of what? Sorry.
the Horsey set.
I'm not familiar with that in the slightest, I'm afraid.
She lives over in the hills somewhere, like just sort of east of me, like close to Derbyshire.
Mm.
She owns 2 horses.
Right.
She rides them a lot. She has a barn. Spends most of her time mucking it out. That's the horsey set.
Basically, one of those girls who hit the horse crazy period and never grew out of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And had the money to back it up.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's usually what kills the horse craze fandom is you can't afford it.
No.
I just can't stand people who are obsessed with horses.
Yeah, ponies is a totally different story, but horses, please.
Horses are bastards. I've met horses.
Oh, yeah, but what if you write stories about horses like A Faded Touch of Blue?
Oh.
Nah.
Oh, that sounds safe there just for a moment.
Even then, at least they're fictional beings.
About subtle Arabian culture.
Or trouble shoes.
Horses aren't completely untrustworthy. Cribbing is the stupidest fucking thing.
What did you say, Cribbing?
Right, what were you saying, Fan?
Oh, even if you write about horses, at least they are fictional beings you don't have to feed and muck out.
Yeah, there's that. It's like...
They can feed themselves and use their own toilets.
Yeah.
Just like Peter Pan. You can feed them with imagination. Oh my God. Beautiful.
Oh dear.
I think I've had too much to drink.
That's never the case. Never the case, dude.
You're right, I should drink some more.
Yes, you should. I've been saying this, like...
I'm practicing...
I'm always amazed that tonic is basically it's a malaria cure from like
the
19th century.
No, that's the thing. You see, gin and tonic was invented because people, British officers and whatever in India, were having to drink quinine water, and they thought this tastes awful. We need to add something to it to make it taste better. I know. Let's take this stuff that's made from juniper berries and wood. And we'll drink that with it. That will make it taste better.
Pretty much. Tastes like not having malaria.
Yes. Tastes marginally better than death.
This is how Jack Daniels was born. I think you're getting it confused there, Arch.
You're right.
Oh my God.
So, Foamy, I'm sad to inform you, we have another comment from the chat. Petrichord wanted me to properly assert that Goat Fam is for sexual.
Oh, Jesus, please.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, Goat Fam is not for sexual.
It is not. You do not sexualize the goat mom.
Do not. This is not.
I always assumed that Frisk had, like, parents waiting for them.
I kind of got that impression, yeah.
You know, interestingly, the first time that I played through that game, I actually selected the I have places to go option because that seemed more logical to me.
As did I.
I blame Bon Bon.
Oh, God damn it.
She was chewing on cables.
This is business as usual. This is business as usual.
What did I miss?
Undertale. We were talking about Undertale.
Ah, fuck that, I'm leaving again.
We need to end this before it gets too Undertale-y. We escaped that months ago. How can we bring it back?
End it now, quick!
End
Kill
it
it
now.
before it's fresh!